Oh, hi there. I'm going to talk about some of the more recent activity in the NHL. I'll start off with the Canucks because I'm from Vancouver. I like that they signed Louis Eriksson. Um, I don't like that he was a Boston Bruin beforehand because I hate Boston. Um, I didn't really like him anyway, but when they won the cup, that definitely sealed the deal for me that I didn't like him. I have many NHL jerseys, but I will never buy a Boston Bruins jersey. Anyway, Louis Eriksson, 30 goals, 36 assists. He can score goals. He's relatively young. I think he's about 32 or something. He's Swedish, so there was rumor that he wanted to play with the Sedins, and he'd played with them before in the Olympics. So I think that will be a good addition to the team. He'll be able to contribute on the first line and play with some guys that he has some experience with. They obviously have a language connection. And the Sedins need a younger guy, not too young, with some NHL experience to help make them better. And I think Louis Eriksson fits the bill. I just don't like that he used to be on Boston, that's all. They lost Dan Hamhuis. He was good. It's too bad because near the end of his Vancouver Canuck career, he got his face destroyed. Like, I saw a video on how they were describing how they had to reconstruct it. And I admire the guy for continuing to want to play. I know at the time he was saying, I'm not even thinking about playing hockey ever again. I'm just, worried about my family and my face, which is understandable. Anyway, Dallas picked him up, so he'll help Dallas out. I do have a Dallas Stars jersey, but they're a bit of a bought team at this point in time. A lot of their players are from other teams, and I don't know. I don't think teams that have bought players should be that good or win a Stanley Cup or whatever. Well, and also for the draft, the Canucks, I think they got screwed. Fifth pick was pretty lousy. I think they got a potential good player, Olli Jovinen, or Jolovinen, or however you say his name. I don't know how you say his name. Olli. He could be all right. I don't think he'll be in the NHL this year, but we'll see. Toronto got the best pick, obviously, Austin Matthews. But you know what? From the impression I get, I think he's a good minor league player, but I don't think he'll ever be a high-ranking NHL player. He's has some success in the minor leagues, but he's never going to be a Patrick Kane or Sidney Crosby with that kind of success. I can just sense it from his charisma, his aura, his I guess the kind of the occult of personality that's gone around him. Because when you talk draft lottery and draft picks, Austin Matthews is the first person that gets talked about. I don't really know too much about him, but I don't think he's going to be that successful. The second pick obviously went to Winnipeg, and they picked Lane. Not bad choice. Could have been a first overall pick. I think he will have a more successful NHL career. I get that impression. We'll see. Nobody knows for sure. Other things went on too. There were some trades that happened. I guess the biggest trade that happened was the Montreal Canadiens trading PK Subban for Nashville Predators Shea Weber. I think Montreal got the better deal. Shea Weber is a bigger guy, better defensive, scored more goals, had more points, was the captain of the Nashville Predators. He's a little bit older, but not that much older. He's only 30. The only thing PK Subban had over him was charisma. I think PK Subban was a more popular hockey player. And if I were a Montreal Canadiens fan, if I was from Montreal, I would not have liked to have seen PK Subban leave. I almost bought a PK Subban jersey, but I didn't because I'd heard rumors that he was being traded months ago, that he could be traded in the off season, and I went, well, I'll wait and see what's going to happen. I'll wait till the next season starts because I mean, summer's not really time for hockey anyway. So I figured I'd wait, and then lo and behold, he got traded. So, yeah, I think the Montreal Canadiens got the better deal on that one. Lower salary hit, better player, bigger player, better defensive. He doesn't have the crowd pleasing charisma that PK Subban has. But you know, you can't get everything. I think the Montreal Canadiens will be a better team with him. One trade did happen, which it's good for the New Jersey Devils. I don't like the trade. Taylor Hall was traded for Adam Larson. Adam Larson's not that great a defenseman. He doesn't have that many points. He didn't have a great plus minus. I forget what it was. I mean, neither did Taylor Hall, but Taylor Hall could score goals and he could have assists. And he was, I forget what pick he was, but he was one of the top picks. So I don't think the Edmonton Oilers got a very good deal for him. It would have been nice if we had gotten Taylor Hall. If somehow we traded for him. Because I'm sure we could have found an Adam Larson equivalent to trade for him. Anyway, what's done is done. The Detroit Red Wings. Now I'm pointing out the obvious here. Pavel Datsyuk wanted to go to Russia, and he's getting old, so and the Detroit Red Wings want to get younger, which is understandable. You know, start beginning to build a new team. But the question was how to get Datsyuk along his way without getting crunched with a salary. Well, the Detroit management was very clever. They traded him to Phoenix, and he's never going to play a game in Phoenix. And neither team has to honor the big $7.5 million cap hit. So that was a very savvy move by the Detroit Red Wings. Yeah, that was. But picking up Thomas Vanek, not a good move. I mean, they had to sign somebody, but Thomas Vanek is a has-been, and he's always disappointed in the playoffs, and he's overrated, and I say has-been, but that could be, you know, a compliment. If he ever was a bin, is probably a better term to use. Sorry about it, Thomas Vanek. I'd like to think people from Austria can play hockey. I think you had your 15 minutes and you weren't able to do anything with it. I'm sorry, but that happens to a lot of NHL players. It's nothing to be offended about. You should be happy that you made the NHL. Detroit also signed Franz Nielsen. I think he will make Detroit better. I forget how many points he had, but he played pretty well on the Islanders. Yeah, so Detroit will probably be about the same as they were. I can't see them winning the Stanley Cup next year, but they'll probably make the playoffs again. Now, Chicago didn't really make too many big deals. They got rid of Tavares, which is too bad because he was an alright player. And they got rid of Shaw, who ended up on Montreal, which was also unfortunate for Chicago. But they were able to sign Brian Campbell again. Now, Brian Campbell's getting a bit old, but he's a crowd favorite, so Chicago's known for picking up crowd favorites. Like they got Andrew Ladd back for the playoffs, and everyone was really happy to see him back. There was no way they could afford to keep him, so he went on his way. Let's see. Not really much else happened. Stamkos stayed with the Lightning. Would have been real nice to pick up Stamkos. Yeah, but that's not happening. And Steve Yzerman is right to have kept Stamkos. Because even though Stamkos didn't have that great a season, he's still a really good hockey player. And I think had he been playing during the playoffs, they would have beat Pittsburgh and then would have probably beat San Jose and won the Stanley Cup. But that's all hypothetical. There's no way of knowing that because it didn't happen. Yeah, not much else happened. Little things here and there. Anaheim signed Mason Raymond. I used to really like Mason Raymond. He had a couple good seasons with the Canucks, and a couple okay seasons with it was either Toronto or Calgary. I think he played for both of them, but I forget which one he played longer with. But last year he had a pretty crummy year, so hopefully he bounces back. I do like Mason Raymond, but he's probably finished. He's probably going to just drift off into obscurity like so many hockey players do. Calgary ditched their goalies. They picked up a couple new ones. They got Troy Brouwer, who is a clutch player, but I don't think he's going to make the team a whole lot better. Calgary might make the playoffs next year, but they're not going to be an impact team. They might make it to the second round if they're lucky, from what I gather. I can't see them being that much better. I mean, Gaudreau, or whatever his name is a good hockey player, Johnny, but he can't carry the team on his own. Yeah. It's kind of interesting that Lars Eller ended up on Washington. I think he'll make the team better. Because Washington was a good team, but they had a disappointing loss to Pittsburgh. Seems like Ovechkin can never get his laughs on Crosby. Crosby always bests him. That's too bad because I like Ovechkin more. I have an Ovechkin jersey. Yeah. Well, those are more or less the things I wanted to talk about. Give a quick opinion about these sort of things, whether I thought it was a good deal for them or a bad deal, who got fleeced and who made out on top, and certain things. I do like that Tarasenko is on the cover for NHL 17. Although I made the argument back when NHL 10 came out that it should be called NHL 2010, not NHL 10. NHL 10 sounds stupid. It should be called NHL 2010, and this one should be called NHL 2017 because it's the year 2017. It's just a small little point. Not a big deal either way, but I would have rather it was called that. Because we were all wondering when NHL 09 came out what the next one was going to be called. But I guess it wasn't called 2009, so... Anyway, it doesn't matter. Not important. Yeah. Can't wait for hockey to come back. Hope I get to watch more games and I'm not at work so much. And hopefully the Canucks do a little bit better. It's not their fault. They were pretty beaten up, but hopefully things work out better for them this year. Anyway, see you guys later.